Yo, so uh this video we are going to discuss how to choose a good woman. Because, some people might think that, from my videos that there are no good black women out there. There's some, man. Not enough to make a video about. But yeah, like I said, man, there's some good, decent black women out there, man. You gotta understand this, man. But they're so few and far between that, you know, it's hard to even talk about them. Because a lot of times these women, these good, decent black women, they're out here, but they have mental flaws. They're decent women, they're good women, but they have these mental flaws that will get you raked over the coals if you deal with them. The biggest problem black men have with black women is their standoffish attitude. It's funny how a lot of these women have a standoffish attitude towards black men, but when they're around white men or other races of men, they become weak, soft, docile creatures all of a sudden. But they feel as if they can talk to you any way they feel like it, in any manner that they feel like it. But there's also the fact that a lot of these women, they might be good, decent women, but they are easily manipulated. That means one of their girlfriends could step up to the plate. I mean, one of their girlfriends could put some type of bug in their ear, and then all of a sudden, you a nigga who ain't shit. You turned into a Nas. Behind some bug that their friend put into their ear. Like I said, a lot of these women don't understand that their friends don't want to see them happy. Their own friends don't want to see them happy. So, anytime you meet one of these women, you gotta be wary of their friends. You notice how you'll meet a good woman, just a decent woman, and their friends will be scrutinizing you more than they are. Their friends, their family, and they do this under the guise of, I'm looking out for my family, I'm looking out for my cousin, I'm looking out for my friend. No. They're jealous of their friends. They're jealous of their family member for the most part. Now, I'm not saying that in some instances they aren't trying to look out for their family members, but for the most part, it's a crock of garbage. It's malarkey. Okay, these women's family members don't have their best interests in mind. They've actually convinced themselves. I'm talking about the family members now. Some of their family members have convinced themselves, especially their mothers, have convinced themselves that they are looking out for their family members, when in fact it's deep-seated jealousy. You don't know where the jealousy comes from. It could come from the fact that their daughter is gonna be doing better than them. their daughter is going to have a successful relationships. I would say 4 times out of 5 relationships, 4 times out of 10, a relationship will end because of what a family member or a friend has put into the head of your woman. Family members and friends, I think a lot of them have convinced themselves that they're looking out for their family member by being overly critical of you, by scrutinizing your every move, by calling up their daughters or their cousins or their friend every time they see you out in the street. Oh, I seen your man. There are good black women out there. Now, due to the fact that a lot of them are easily manipulated by their family members, it's going to lead to a lot of broken hearts and messed up relationships. Because you can't even have a relationship with a woman without going through the gatekeeper. Every black woman has a gatekeeper. They have a person who gives them permission to love you for the most part. I'm not going to say every single black woman, but for the most part, most black women have a gatekeeper that must give them, because black women don't think for themselves. They need their friends to approve of you. This is why they choose the men they choose. If they chose a regular brother, they're always thinking about what their friends or their family members are going to think of him. And a lot of them get over that quickly. If you're a thug, they don't give a damn what their parents or their friends think. But if you're a decent black man, you are going to be scrutinized by everyone. But that's just part of, the black woman, the good, decent black woman's problem. She does exist. They are out there, but it's just hard to deal with them. It's also hard to deal with them because, like I said, they're easily manipulated, man. The TV can manipulate your woman. The TV, she'll see something on TV, read something in the magazine. Now she's bringing that garbage back home to you. Or she'll see some garbage on Hip Hop Housewives. See, if you're black, you need to be aware of all the TV shows. That's a question that I ask all women. What kind of TV shows they watch, what kind of movies, what kind of music. I ask women these types of things because it tells me a lot about them. It tells me a lot about their mentality. If you listen to Lil Wayne, Lil Jeezy, Lil Shit Stain, whoever, then me and you ain't gonna be talking for the most part. If you're a fan of these kinds of individuals, me and you ain't gonna be compatible. We just not gonna be compatible, man. I need somebody who was on a higher level, man, but who I could have a real conversation with. There's nothing wrong with working alongside a woman as long as she is cooperative. Black women seem to try to create these Frankenstein monsters, and it never works out for them. It seems like they'll take the shittiest individual because a lot of times, when they get around good black men, they just don't know how to act because there's nothing to fix on him. It's like, what purpose do I serve? She doesn't know how to just be in a relationship. She always got to be fixing him, or making him better, or pushing him. These women think they actually are the backbone of the community. Man, it's not the backbone. These modern day women are not the backbone of the community. Sorry to tell you that. You the backbone of the neighborhood. That's another crazy talking point. Black women say they're the backbone of the community, but when you look around the community and it's looking like garbage, they want to turn around and say, well, that's black men's fault. But, well, I thought you was the backbone of the community. He's silly. But yeah, there are good, decent black women, man. We need to understand and know how to spot these women, man. A good, decent black woman, first of all, she doesn't dress like a whore. She might get all dolled up, and go out to a club every once in a while, or and do her thing. She'll do that every once in a while. But it's not like something she has to do every damn week, every day, or every weekend. She's not interested in being at the club showing her behind. In fact, good, decent black women try to avoid drawing a lot of attention to themselves. They're more low key. Good, decent black women don't have a lot of female friends. They don't, because they understand that the majority of women they know the majority of women are just, what can you say about them? What can you say about them? They're garbage. The average, they don't hang around a bunch of females. They don't hang around a bunch of males. For the most part, they're just quiet types. They're lonely. They're loners. Some of them wear a weave. That's part of the indoctrination. That's a part of their indoctrination. Some of them wear a weave. They're still good, decent women, but they wear weave. And that's something that's going to be hard for you to get them to stop doing. Unless you, if you're gonna make any changes in a woman, you got to do it in the beginning of the relationship. If you're gonna make any changes to a woman, you got to do that in a very, the beginning of your relationship. Because if you allow them to go on for so long, they'll get complacent. And that's like, hey, he accepted me as a damn weave-ratted, hair-hatted hooligan with, he accepted me. A lot of you accept and put up with a lot of nonsense because, you just trying to get in her pants. You just trying to get with her. You just trying to have sex with her. You have no real intentions of trying to be in a relationship with these women. You telling them whatever you want to, whatever they, whatever they feel, whatever they want to hear. And it is what it is. A lot of y'all are doing those things because Like I said, you have no intentions on marrying her. You have no intentions on being in no relationship, no long-term relationship with her. So you're not trying to tell her anything that's going to piss her off to where she ain't going to open up her legs for you. You know, a lot of y'all are, a lot of y'all, I don't know what to say. I mean, it is what it is. I can't, whatever choices you make, you got to remember also, whatever choices you make regarding a woman, you actually understand that you're doing things against the brotherhood. There is a brotherhood, and you are going against the brotherhood by cheating on your woman when she thinks that y'all are in a monogamous relationship. You're going against the brotherhood, because what happens is after you cheat on that woman, you break her heart, and it's like the dude that breaks her heart is the one that she actually loved. She and then she'll take that dude back several times. But when she gets with the next man, she says, when she finally gets fed up with you and decides to leave you for good, the first thing she says is, never again. Never again. So the dude that she gets with the next time, he's not getting the full woman. She cannot open up her heart to this new man because she doesn't want to get hurt again. So that man, all he's getting is a shell, an empty shell of a woman. She's not opening up her heart because you broke it. So a lot of times these women will take out their frustrations on their new man. They won't be over their ex. They won't be over you, the one who broke their heart. They're not over you yet, but they'll take it out on their new man. It's like, I'm not going to be like this. I'm not going to fall in love. I'm not going to open up my heart to nobody. I'm not going to I'm not going to love like I loved him. I'm not going to love this dude like I loved him because it was too painful, blah 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 blah. And then brothers, a lot of brothers will say, that yes, women, men cheat, women cheat, blah blah blah. I mean, whether men cheat or women cheat, it's not, women do cheat and men do cheat as well, but it's all about perception. I mean, it's all about if a person thinks that they're in a monogamous relationship and you break that bond, you break the bond, or she thinks she broke the bond. A lot of times they'll get with the next man and they'll be, anytime he does. I mean, I've been in these situations. I've been in situations where, a woman had broken up with some dude and I'm talking to her, I'm just talking to her and she's like, telling me all the things that, the guy did to her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, and she's like, and then when she's with me, she's like, I tell her I'm going to work or something. And she's like, oh, you ain't at work. You ain't at work. You probably at the club. I'm like, yo, just because your ex, see, I'm not a big club person. I don't go to clubs. I mean, not at all for the most part. Every once in a blue moon, but I don't drink. So, I mean, once in a blue moon, I'll go to the club or whatever. Once in a blue moon, I don't know. It's been years. It's been years, but yeah, I'm not a big club person, whatever. But like I said, she thought that She thought that just because her ex used to do certain things, like tell her he was at work, but he was out at the club instead. You know, that's what I had to deal with. I had to deal with that. So a lot of times, y'all men are messing it up for other brothers by, you have no moral code. You don't. I mean, this is the problem with the individualist nature of black men. They think as individuals. Not. They think that their actions have no bearing on the rest of the group. They think as individuals. Even when some of you are coming to my comment section and telling me what I need to be talking about, that's an individualist mindset. Oh, don't talk about that because I'm going down to Brazil and I'm gonna get my bitch from Brazil, and you need to be telling brothers to get bitch from Brazil. That's you. What about all the brothers who can't even get a passport? Can they go to Brazil? But anyway, this ain't about that. It's about the black woman and understanding that there are good black women out there. They're decent. I'm not going to even say good. I'm going to say decent black women out there. Decent. A lot of times, another problem, that you got to deal with is the religion thing. A lot of black women are in a lot of these decent black women are Jesus-fied. Like, I mean, for the most part, that's probably gonna be your biggest problem. The whole Jesus thing, which is probably one of the biggest reasons why black men and black women's relationships are are retarded right now. But the whole Jesus thing, man. Christianity was a religion that was given to us, beat into us, while our women happily embraced it. Happily embraced it. That was just our culture. Our culture was to, respect authority, respect power. We come from a culture where people respect power. Like the men with the most power, the most resources or whatever, those were the men who got the most women. That is part of at least the African culture. That was part of their culture. I mean, that was just natural to them. So the women naturally went with the men who were in power. That was natural to them. But like I said, man, there are, that Jesus thing is going to that Jesus thing is probably going to be the biggest obstacle to you having a good woman. That is the biggest obstacle, man. It's any of these good women out here, man. That is your biggest obstacle. That whole Jesus thing. That's it, man. I mean, You will mess around and find a woman who has all the qualities that you want. You know, you'll find a woman who has all the qualities that you want, and she'll be she'll be caught up in the white man's religion. You know, and that'll be the deal breaker right there. You know, that'll be the deal breaker. So I don't want brothers to think that there are no good black women. There are good, decent black women, but I mean, you got problems, man. You gonna have some problems with them. None of them are perfect. None of them are perfect. It's gonna be very hard for you to find a woman who has all these qualities. They know how to cook. They're attentive to their man instead of thinking, always being self-centered and thinking about what they gonna get. They're not, they're givers. They fine. They sweet. They're soft-spoken. They're not argumentative. They're not always trying to be confrontational. They're cooperative with your program, with building. They understand what it means to be in a relationship with a man. I mean, trying to find a woman with all these qualities it's going to be hard. One who is not, embracing, the white man's religion, or some religion that was given to us. Like I said, man, it's gonna be hard for you to find this woman. You if you you find a woman in another country, you're likely to find all of these qualities, but then you got to keep her away from your American woman. Sometimes your mother will sabotage your relationship. Your own mother, just the belief systems that your own mother has will, you know, will destroy your relationship, because your mother will be injecting herself, putting bugs in your woman's ear, say, oh, you don't need to listen to him. You need to be doing this. Your mom will have that feminist rhetoric running through her head, and she'll be feeding that to your wife, or your aunties, or your sister. You know, you better keep your foreign wife away from these women, and away from the American television. You know what I mean? That television might spoil her. For the most part, the television ain't gonna spoil her, but your family members definitely will, destroy your relationships. Anyway, on that note, I want to say peace. Get on the 5 steps. Adopt the moral code.